very depressing. And fun is the opposite of depressing. And friendship is wonderful.
Red Hatters, you can be kids again, you could act like kids and nobody could say anything. We can be silly and do silly things and laugh and, we don't have to be prim and proper all the time.
I'm a retired librarian. I love books. I walked into Barnes & Noble and I see on display this trade paperback, Red Hat Society, Fun and Friendship After 50. My social life is not as rich as I would like it to be.
And I had nothing to do with myself. I didn't have a boyfriend. My friends were busy most of the times. And I happened to look in the Bronx Times and I saw this Red Hat group. And I said, gee, this looks nice. In fact, one of the people in the group looked like me.
I met the ladies, seemed like a nice group, and I joined on the spot.
No longer is 50 a birthday to dread, but cause for a celebration instead. And we salute a former pink hatter as we proudly proclaim that Red Hatters matter.
I didn't know anybody. But everybody was so friendly. Everyone came up to me and introduced themselves, and it was just so nice. I said, this is just what I need.
I am now a Red Hat. Thank you so much.
Never be alone or lonely.
No. With a red
People
hat.
just come over and they start talking, and usually the beginning of the conversation, your hat is gorgeous. Yeah. And it really is. And that one too. Yeah. And this goes on and on. Yeah. So we begin to have so much fun.
Because there's a lot of people in my position too, that in my group, that don't have family. And it just brings people together.
And we all have terrible problems, but we forget them for those hours, and that's what's very important.
Right. That's another thing, because when you get older, you have to keep your mind going. You have to be active. Absolutely. Otherwise, you might as well just lay down and die.
But we're still alive, and we're celebrating our age and our life. That there's life for the old girl yet.
Because at that point in your life, your children most are grown and on their own, and you don't have those responsibilities anymore. You have more, now you have time for yourself.
The children are gone. They're not working anymore. They need a purpose. And they're letting, don't get me wrong, there are many purposes. There's volunteer work, but there's like a sisterhood here. Where you can just kind of be together and support and talk about things.
Usually it takes 5 years for some people to warm up to be accepted in a group, but it doesn't happen with the Red Hatters.
And we get to get dressed up.
It gives you a feeling that you don't have any other time. I put on that red hat and believe me, I feel great. It really does something for you. It's just, I don't know, I can't explain it. And at the beginning, me wear a red hat, there's no way. I think almost everybody in the group has said that when they joined. And then all of a sudden I found these hats. You feel so good in it, you know?
Jenny Joseph wrote a poem, "When I am an old woman, I shall wear purple with a red hat that does not go with it and does not suit me." And then the rest of the poem goes on to say how she's going to be a feisty old lady. She's going to do all kinds of, quote, outrageous things. And this woman in California, Sue Ellen Cooper, who is now our exalted Queen Mother, she started giving red hats to her friends on their 50th birthday, and somehow the idea took off, and they started the Red Hat Society, where we wear red hats and purple outfits, and we just have fun. And of course, support each other. And it's now an international society.
But since I've become a red hat, and since that day when I was walking around Manhattan looking like this, and I said, you know, this is fun. People, I like the reaction I'm getting from people.
But it used to be that older women were not respected in our society. People over 50 were invisible. Nobody gave a damn, you know, nobody noticed them. They just, oh, that little old lady. Our culture tends to glorify youth. And then you got to be 50, you were over the hill, you know, and men weren't interested in you, and, you know, it was like, okay, this is the beginning of the end.
The best was I'm walking down the street, right? And these two guys come out of a garage. If I was younger, I would have enjoyed them because they were gorgeous. And they looked at me like this. What are you?
What planet?
What are you? I mean, you know, like, let's face it.
You're brought up to be, you know, a wife, a mother, and then when you're 50, you're sort of like cutting loose. Hey, this is my time. This is for me. I'm going to enjoy life. And at the same time, enjoy my friendship with these other women. It's just a form of, declaring we are red hatters, you know, we are celebrating ourselves, celebrating this second phase of our lives. When you're younger, you tend to think you've got all the time in the world. You know, you're not in any hurry to do anything, you know. You got your whole life ahead of you. And then as you get older, hey, you know, time is precious. You have to try to really make the most of it because there isn't that much left. I mean, that's the facts of life. We are mortal. We die.
I was very attractive when I was younger, and if we went to a football game, I'd come home with the whole team. I got married to somebody my brother was friends with for years. He was younger. He just didn't want to come near me. He said he had excuses like, "Oh, you're almost as old as my mother," and I said, "Something is wrong." And I came home from work early one day and I found him in bed with the guy next door. So that was a horror. And then I had my boyfriend for 30 years.
I was only married for a year and a half, and my husband, alas, developed cancer, so having children was just not an option. Had he survived, possibly we would have had children. And since then, there have been no men in my life.
That gentleman that I was going out with for 30 years, he didn't want the responsibility of children. That's one of the reasons that I broke off with him. He was the one I loved, and it was the sacrifice I had to make. And it was the wrong one, as it turns out, because I would have loved to have children.
Now I'm feeling kind of alone. So I sort of regret I didn't, but c'est la vie, así es la vida.
2 days after I retired, I found out I had cancer. So it was hard to get through. When I told my boyfriend of 30 years that I had cancer, he left. He couldn't deal with it. So I was left in a position where a lot of my friends didn't want to be around me because they figured they might catch it. And I didn't know what to do with myself.
Now I'm 70. My husband died at 41. I had a fiance who died at 26, 24 actually. I mean, people, you know.
I have not heard from him since. I have no idea where he is now. He never called to see how I was. And it really hurt because I needed him then. I love this dog beyond any reason. He's everything in my life. He's the only thing I have here. Now he's getting old. He's going to be 13 this summer. And his health had failed a couple of years ago. His heart kept stopping. It's called sick sinus syndrome. I had a couple of bad falls this past year. I fractured my foot. My whole leg was black, my other leg, and I couldn't walk much. I needed knee surgery, which they won't do because I'm too heavy. And so I've been practicing. The Red Hatters want to march in the parade this year, the Columbus Day parade coming in October. So I was determined I'm going to walk. And he loves it. He enjoys it. We go walking and he sees other little doggies and stops. But he's my life, this dog. He's here with me all the time.
You can do it. Come on. Come on. Yeah, it's a good boy. Okay.
The sisterhood of the Red Hats is what I think saved me. I started going to a lot of their parties and events, and I've made so many wonderful friends, and it really changed my life that way.
I still live alone. I don't have that full of life. I have not found the answers. My life is definitely by no means ideal, but it's still, I am happy that I have the Red Hat Society. It doesn't completely fill the void in my life, but you know, it's a good thing.
Getting older means a lot. At least I'm getting there. As opposed to the other, I'm glad I'm getting older. And I'm getting better. And I'm going to do everything I can to stay here for quite a while.